Hi guys, this is JB Shaw here with your weekly energy update. This is for the week of the 1st to the 7th of March 2021, and I'm really pleased that you've joined me today. We're going to be looking at the astrology first, and I'm going to talk you through that, and then we're going to pull some cards and see what messages Spirit has for us. So let's get going. I'm going to start with these guys here in Pisces, okay? So the Sun is currently in the sign of Pisces, and it has been since 19th of Feb. We've got this whole team Pisces here, which is a really beautiful opportunity for us to tune into the etheric, but more importantly, what unites us, what we have in common, the common bond between us all. Pisces is an energy where all the boundaries melt. Obviously, that has a kind of shadow side in terms of martyrdom, victimhood, and that kind of stuff. Also, because the Sun in Pisces is squaring the nodes, which is here, which I'm going to talk about later. But you know what? I feel great about this. We also have Venus joining the Sun here, and she's going to be with the Sun in Pisces. By the way, Venus is exalted in Pisces. Venus is very, very happy in this side. So this is a happy little bunch here, traveling through the mystical sign of Pisces. Venus is going to be accompanying the Sun right until the Sun moves into Aries at the spring equinox. And Venus-Sun conjunction, what's that? Well, when you get that in a natal chart, this is a real peacemaker. It's a very harmonious aspect to have in a chart. So I like this little tribe here. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and to have Neptune, the Sun, and Venus, which is in her exaltation here together, I feel this is a really potent energy for us all to tune into and really focus on what we have together. Rather than what divides us, and this is obviously a common theme in the world at the moment, and something we would be well to do. Because let me talk about the nodes now. The nodes are really important this week. I feel we've got the transiting nodal axis. They've been in this axis, so all the signs come in pairs. Okay, so they're in the signs of Gemini for the north node and Sagittarius for the south node, and that date is from April 2020 right until January next year. So I just want to talk you through a bit about what the nodes actually mean. The south node in someone's chart is telling us probably karmic influences that have come through, but it's very much about where we're comfortable, where we're familiar, and it can be a bit of an Achilles heel. It's like a fallback position that we're oh so comfortable with. But really where life is forcing us to go to this north node right here, okay? So if you just bear in mind some of the things over the past year, if you take your mind back to May 2020, what have we been forced to let go of with the south node? Well, Sagittarius is long distance travel. Obviously that's been very affected. It's also higher education. So, I know people who've gone back to university and things are not, as they were when I was a student. So massive change there. The south node is inviting us to release, okay, what's not working anymore, we need to release it. Whereas the north node is asking us where to move towards, which can often be somewhere where we get growing pains, okay, because it's unfamiliar territory. The north node is in Gemini. What's Gemini? It's local communities, it's communication. This axis, right? Because each sign actually comes with an opposite pair, and they all have a kind of theme to them. The theme with the Gemini-Sag axis is expansion. It's about learning. It's about teaching. It's about broadening our horizons. But you need both sides of the coin, right? So you need this very open-minded Gemini research, which is all about, I always think it's a bit like that Zen mind, that beginner's mind, where you're really looking into things, but you're not really that invested in the outcome or what it's going to turn into as a cohesive whole, which is very much the Sagittarius end of the spectrum. Right, so both sides are needed. The shadow side of Sagittarius is a know-it-all, it's a guru. It's, I know the truth and I don't need to do any research, which is down here. So as you can see, it's all about balance, and this is really collectively what we've been asked to do in the theme of expansion, of consciousness, of our awareness. What is the truth? These are all themes which are floating around. We recently had Neptune, which was squaring the nodal axis, We came out of that a couple of weeks ago, and that was, as I said, Neptune can be a very murky, foggy energy. So I feel that was something to be careful of back then, about getting lost in groupthink or things like that. So I feel that now with these guys here, I think this is actually going to invite us to take a much more spiritual, a much more exalted perspective on how we see things. The reason I wanted to talk about the nodes so much is that the South Node in Gemini, in Sagittarius rather, the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, right? This guy here. The North Node is in Gemini. The ruler of Gemini is Mercury, okay? So the planets Mercury and Jupiter, the theme they have together is just what we've been talking about, this expansion of awareness, this expansion of consciousness. I think it's really cool that this week Mercury and Jupiter are meeting in the sign of Aquarius. Now, this is not a super rare event. Mercury only takes about 88 days to go around the wheel. So it's every couple of months this happens. But the reason I'm mentioning this is I feel that if the South Node is the past and the North Node is the future, and so many differing opinions and so much division in the world, I really like this energy. And by the way, these planets have drawn up for Friday the 5th of March, which is this coming Friday, because I feel that's a really key date. We've got this Mercury-Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius. Now, what's Aquarius? Aquarius is the radical. He's innovative. He's a bit of a daredevil. And Mercury in Aquarius, so Mercury is our thoughts, so Mercury in Aquarius is going to come up with new ideas, okay? As is Jupiter. They've got this kind of crazy scientist vibe to them, actually. Einstein had Jupiter in Aquarius natally. So really, there's an invitation here to come up with some kind of solution, right, between the past, where we're coming from, and towards the future. Because they're meeting here, they're giving us this opportunity. It's like a new moon when you sow the seed, okay? Sowing the seeds of a new idea that's going to be radical, innovative, very humanitarian, very egalitarian. These are all Aquarian themes. And Aquarius is the circuit breaker, okay? So it's got that electric feel to it. So I just get a really good feel about this coming Friday, and that there could be something which collectively we can really start to see new ideas which unite us and kind of let us unite, or find a balance between the past and the future. Or actually, if we want to think about the hemispheres of the brain, Mercury is very much the left brain, which is Jupiter's the right brain. So there's a real opportunity for some kind of integration on a collective level, which I really love. Also on the same day, we've got two planets, the Moon and the Mars, coming on the action in this axis. So we've got the Moon at 0 degrees Sagittarius and the Mars coming in at 0 degrees Gemini. This is partly why I wanted to highlight this day, because I just feel the axes are so important this week. There's so much opportunity to really bring that to the fore. Mars, or rather the Moon opposing Mars, that is quite a steamy energy. I feel there's going to be, passions are going to be running high that day. Again, there could be confusion. Mars is not that happy in Gemini, I must say. Mars is our direction, our will, and when the Moon's in the mix, that's very steamy, very passionate. It's very much about things coming from the unconscious, which perhaps we're not consciously control of. So just be careful on that day, not to get lost in temper tantrums or let the emotions run too high, and just see this as a glorious opportunity to plant a new seed and really take responsibility for your vibration. One of the things I didn't mention is that these guys here are making this harmonious sextile angle to the nodes and the trine down here. So very harmonious. Really good time for seeding new thoughts, and as I said, taking responsibility for your vibration and seeing what that's going to carry forward. The Moon over the weekend, the 6th and the 7th, she's going to pass the South Node. So again, that's an invitation to dive deep. The Moon is the unconscious. See what unconscious thought patterns, see where you're operating from, which might be, maybe that's a collective thought form. Maybe that's something I've inherited from the family or society, but it doesn't really suit me. It doesn't really serve me anymore. So, I think that's all I wanted to mention about the astrology this coming week. So, why not let's pull some cards and see what Spirit has to share with us. So, the highest and best messages, please, for my viewers for the week of the 1st to the 7th of March 2021. Okay, let's start with this guy. Oh, death. Wow. So we're tuning into that Pluto. Remember, Pluto was in Capricorn last year. That was kind of the theme of 2020. It was this demolition job of all the existing power structures in our world, which is still playing through till 2023-24 when Pluto moves into Aquarius, which I can't wait for. But yeah, in these final remaining 3 years, it really is going to be, it might be for some of us a kind of mourning process. You know, there's so much invested in these old structures that have taken us through. You know, we've relied on them, these ways of doing things, but the world is definitely saying now is the time for change and radical change. And I feel that this card in the middle is telling us to go with that process. One thing I love about this card is there's the sunrise on the horizon. At least that's how I interpret it. It's quite interesting. We have all these vestiges of power, authority, but this kind of Grim Reaper vibe. It's like, nah, having none of that. To move forward, we need to travel very, very light. That's the Aquarian, airy energy. So let's see if we can get any more information about this. Okay, so I feel this is going into the past. This might even be the South Node stuff we were talking about. Right, so both in the reverse. I feel this is talking about the moon that's going to pass the South Node. As I said, very unconscious. This is a Gemini card, and actually I feel that this is bringing that Mars and Gemini as well. So it's like, with this card, with the Eight of Swords, it's where our mind is our own worst enemy. Look how she's being bound to the swords. Just be aware, it's like what I was saying before about taking responsibility for the vibration. Just know that whatever you're putting out, that is bound to some kind of 3D reality that's going to come forward as a result. Okay, so take responsibility for that. Both these cards, in fact all the cards so far are in the reverse, so it's very much an inner job. Two of Cups reversed, this for me is about an inner marriage, the inner and the outer. I feel that's talking about the Jupiter and Mercury, the left and right hemispheres of the brain, which we need to integrate. So yes, so very much an inner job here that we can do, lots of inner work that we've been talking about with the nodal axis this week. Let's talk about maybe the future or the North Node. Wow, okay, so full steam ahead with the Knight of Swords there. So I love this. This is very positive. This is telling me that collectively there's a real sense of consensus. I'm just drawn to these butterflies here and these birds. I love that. It's like that higher perspective we can take, that transformation we can make out of the chrysalis if we go through that death process. And look at how he's looking back over the past. So I really like this energy. It's actually a Gemini energy as well, which is awesome because that's where we're moving towards with the North Node. So I feel it's full steam ahead, but always with this with our head looking back over our shoulder, you know, and making sure that we are taking care of one another. You know, we're letting go of these old power structures that only favour, you know, the 1%. And again with Mars and Gemini, this is a Mars card. This is not going to happen, I'm afraid, without some kind of a disruption to the old paradigm. It's not comfortable, but it is for our highest good, and it's a really good idea to always hold that vision. The Tower card, I always say, you know, you can't make an omelette without breaking an egg. So some very intense energy here, but I really like it. I love this action that we can take together. It feels very together. Look at all these birds flying together up there. I like that. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm so pleased you could join me for this energy update. Please tune in next week, same time, same place, for the following week. And I hope it's a wonderful one for you. Please give me any comments, any thoughts you have, anything that resonates. And you can also contact me at jbshaw.com if you would like a personal reading. It'd be really cool to connect. and sending you much love for the coming week.